Hello everyone.
빨리 나왔다.
Today this presentation is about heart-healthy holiday eating, how to thrive during the holidays. Brought to you by the Heart Healthy Dietitians, Kay, Karen, and Michelle. And it's Karen that's doing the presentation at the moment. So when you think of the holidays this year, they're a lot different. So the bottom line is, let's make the best of it. Think of the positive, think of what you can do, what you can't do. We're going to be in smaller groups. But the positive of this, there'll probably be a little bit less stress, right? There'll be less shopping and less emphasis on food. So when it comes to mind, when you think of healthy eating, what do you think about? I love this little cartoon. I try to eat healthy. I never sprinkle salt on my ice cream. I only eat decaffeinated pizza, and my beer is 100% fat-free. Who's seen the healthy plate model? This model is actually a really good model to base healthy eating on. Meal balancing means having 3 to 4 food groups in your meals, portion control using your hands, and also listening to your body, listening to the hunger fullness cues, and enjoying what you're eating. So think about this on every day and throughout the holidays as a basis for healthy eating. So these are some things to think about over the holidays or throughout the year for that matter. Ask yourself, what does your pattern look like? Do you eat less than 2 pieces of fruit per day? Do you eat vegetables less than 5 days a week? Do you skip breakfast or do you skip any other meals? Do you eat baked goods, candies, chips, basically refined foods or processed foods regularly? Do you need to eat cheese and red meat more than 2 to 3, do you eat cheese and red meat more than 2 to 3 times per week each? Do you drink juice, pop, or sweetened beverages regularly? Do you use cream and sugar in your coffee? Do you eat out or eat restaurant foods more than 2 to 3 times a week? So these are things or habits to think about where you're at. So we have a bunch of questions or scenarios, and the holiday season is here. So what do? A, go crazy and eat and drink all you want. After all, the holiday season only comes once a year. Do you B, hide and bury your head in the sand? Do you C, get a plan for how you can manage the holiday season? Or D, do nothing and then complain about the weight you've gained over the holidays in January? Scenario 1. The holiday season for many is all about the food. What are some general things you could do to manage your intake this season? First of all, plan. So do some meal planning, some shopping. Think about how many people are actually going to be at your Christmas dinner. We're not going to need as many appetizers or treats around because there's a lot less people to eat them. It's really important to keep up with your normal routine as much as possible. So that's where eating regular meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, getting out for your exercise, doing your relaxation, doing your connection with your community and your people in your bubble as much as possible. And if you do indulge, think of the 80-20 rule. So it's okay to indulge once in a while. You are the boss of what you eat. You can decide if it's worth it. 80% of the time you want to follow your heart healthy pattern, and 20% of the time it's okay to have treats, but make it worth your while. Choose something you really enjoy, not something that you're eating because it's there. And when you're eating slowly and savoring the food more, you enjoy it more and it's easier to eat less. And think about having half the portion, it's half the fat and half the calories. Also limit the frequency of the goodies. Don't make them a habit. If you really want something, like an ice cream, go out and get an ice cream as opposed to keeping the tub of ice cream at home that calls your name. Try to spend your calories on foods you really enjoy and that you consider a treat. You decide if it's worth it. Keeping track of what you eat can also keep you on track. So keeping a food journal and just making sure you are eating regular meals, you are eating portion controlled, you're getting lots of vegetables. Also, make sure you rest up and get good quality sleep. For people that are really tired, they're not as in tune with their hunger fullness cues and they can overeat. So make sure you get a good night's sleep. And also make sure you nurture yourself. You de-stress. This could be yoga, mindfulness, just taking time for yourself, for self-care. And so important to keep up with your regular exercise. So now a lot of us are working from home, or maybe you're still working at work. So because there's less people, then perhaps think about baking less, and any extras you have freeze, and then you can have them at another time, and they're less tempting when they're not out on the counter. They're in the freezer instead.
Yeah.
While you're baking, think about chewing sugarless gums, sip herbal teas, so you're not munching away at the goodies while you're baking. Again, enjoy treats away from home.
제가
So get a single serving away from home. If you love your chocolate, go get the best quality chocolate, get a couple of them and enjoy them when you're not at home, as opposed to bringing the whole box of chocolates home. What happens to it, right? It disappears. And you might have they didn't even taste as good by the time you got to the halfway through the box. It's important too to, if you're satisfied your hunger fullness cues, pack over the leftovers right after the meal so they're not tempting you to go for seconds and thirds when you're not even hungry. And keep goodies out of sight. It's okay to have goodies around, but we eat what we see, and out of sight, out of mind. So keep them in the garage, maybe in the freezer, maybe in storage. You might even forget about them for a little bit. And pick and choose your treats wisely. Don't waste your calories on foods you don't really care about. And stock up on healthy foods and eat these first. When you fuel your body with nutrients, your sugar cravings will soften. It'll be easier to make good choices when it comes to treats. And whatever you do, don't go grocery shopping when you're super hungry. That's when all the perhaps processed foods and everything that maybe not be the best choice, that you have regret after purchasing it when you're super hungry. So go shopping after you've had a healthy meal or snack, and then you can make better decisions. Perhaps if you're out and about, pack a healthy snack with you, a handful of nuts and a piece of fruit, maybe a seed or nut bar, so you don't get overly hungry while you're shopping. And plan your shopping route away from any temptations, such as the bakery or food court. Scenario 2. You have always made really rich appetizers and desserts. This year, due to health reasons and COVID, what might you do instead? Perhaps think about making only 1 or 2 appetizers and make them more heart healthy. We have a good selection of healthy appetizers during our presentation. And same for desserts. Really fruit-based desserts are the best, and we've got lots of ideas throughout our presentation. And consider making new traditions. It's a new year this year, so think about making it best suited for you. There's some great heart-healthy recipes on the Heart and Stroke Foundation, as well as Baking with Baysel. You can do a lot of recipes there. The only one not to do would be the shortbread. You're better off to do regular butter with shortbread, but all the rest work very well with base cell margarine as opposed to butter. Here are some heart-healthy appetizer lists, and then we will have the next page which will show the food options. So, a lot of these foods are readily available, good heart-healthy appetizers if you want to be festive. It's lovely to do sugar snap peas with grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. Here's pictured a Christmas tree. You could always do a wreath, and for a dip, you can use Greek yogurt and mix it with tzatziki, or you can do Greek yogurt, mix it with olive oil, herbs, garlic, and make a lovely dip for your vegetables. Antipasto, a lovely, it's basically vegetables and tomato sauce, lovely with whole grain crackers. Hummus. Hummus is chickpeas with olive oil and garlic, another lovely dip for your vegetables. Edamame is a wonderful appetizer. Just limit the salt. Just have them plain. All you need to do is boil them up and enjoy. They're a very good source of protein, and they actually lower your cholesterol. Lots of people love them. For a sweet treat, you know, it comes with its own wrapper. A beautiful Japanese mandarin orange makes a lovely treat. Nuts, they're quite delicious. Just watch your portions, no more than 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup per day. At Costco, what's available are these biscotti. That's a good alternative to a large cookie. And these ones have almonds and cranberries. They're very festive. We also have dates. Eating a couple dates, just watch your portions with those. A lovely sweet treat. And you'll notice how we have the 72%, the dark chocolate. And these ones are easier to eat less of because they're individually wrapped. So people tend to eat less when things are individually wrapped versus one large wrapper. So having 1 or 2 of these, perhaps with a piece of fruit, is a lovely, heart-healthy, sweet treat. Here's some heart-healthy desserts, and desserts are best for heart-healthy when they're fruit-based. So choose your favorite dessert and really savor it, and perhaps having smaller portions, enjoy it with somebody else. And we've got some pictures next of beautiful desserts. So perhaps instead of shortbread cookies, unless they're your favorite and they're worth the calories, ginger snaps are a lovely alternative. We've got some angel food cake here with berries on top. Regular whipped cream is loaded with saturated fat. So an alternative, a heart-healthy alternative, is taking Cool Whip and mixing it with vanilla yogurt, and mixing the two together. It makes a lovely whip topping that won't affect your cholesterol. Crumbles, another beautiful dessert that you can have, and if you do mix berries, it adds more interest. You can put oats and sliced almonds on top for a topping. We also have crepes. Crepes are lovely, and if you get a lower fat ricotta cheese mixed again perhaps with the vanilla yogurt or the Cool Whip, you can have that with a drizzle of chocolate and strawberries. We've got poached pears with chocolate sauce. And in the other corner we have these power bars. That's a new, or power bites. They're a new trendy kind of dessert. And you can put dark chocolate with them, with perhaps other steel cut oats, or you can use large oat flakes with peanut butter and nuts in the food processor, and they require no baking. You can just simply roll them up into a ball. And lots more heart-healthy ideas on your list. Here's a question. Which has the most amount of sugar for you? So, do you think it's number 1, the 250 mils or stubby Coca-Cola? Number 2, the tall eggnog latte with 2% milk with no whipped cream, the 250 ml eggnog, that's the regular eggnog, or would it be the medium coffee double from Tim Hortons? So let's see, which one has the most sugar? Well, it's not the Coke, because it's the smaller one. It's not the double from Tim Hortons, and it's not the tall eggnog latte. It's actually regular eggnog. Now let's have a look and see which has the most calories. The most calories are found in actually the eggnog latte. It's 370 calories, but not far behind is the regular eggnog. So what can you do? What can you do? What can you drink? Well, if we look at our goals or our maximum amount of sugar, most of the ladies or the women, you want to aim for less than 6 teaspoons of sugar, which would work out to about 24 grams of sugar per day. And for most of the gentlemen, it's about less than 9 teaspoons of sugar per day. And this does include honey, agave nectar, maple syrup, cane sugar, brown sugar, all types of sugar. So choose your sugars wisely, and it's best to actually limit it as much as you can. So if we get back to the healthy drink alternatives, what can you do? So instead of having regular pop, they have these great carbonated waters now. There's no sodium, no sugar in them. They're just flavoring with carbonated water. There's the Buble, and there's also the Aha from Coca-Cola that you can purchase. And since it's holidays, make your drinks festive. You can actually take water and add strawberry and mint, and it gives it quite a lovely flavor. You can put pomegranates into your sparkling beverage to make them a lot more fun, and the pomegranates will float on top. Another good mix perhaps is diet cranberry juice with some diet ginger ale, and you can put cranberries or pomegranates into those. Then we've got your standard Perrier, Pellegrino, club soda. All of these can be mixed with a splash of juice or perhaps just fruit. And remember back to that eggnog, it was the one that was the highest in sugar. How can you lower the calories and the sugar in that one? Well, you can either just have a very small portion, maybe you only need half a cup, and that satisfies your craving. If you want to have more, you can mix half skim milk, half eggnog. Or maybe try some of the soy eggnogs or almond eggnogs, but look at the label and check the sugar as well. Some of these can be higher in sugar, but it's a nice alternative to having regular eggnog for a change. Scenario 3. Christmas Day finds you preparing a huge meal because of tradition, and when you look at your table, well, actually, there's only a maximum of 4 people at your table, as opposed to like traditionally 12. So this is where to think back to that plate. Remember the balanced plate where half of it's vegetables, a quarter of the plate protein, a quarter of the plate starch? So make new traditions for yourself, maybe this year. So maybe, you could cook a turkey breast or roasted chicken. You don't have to do necessarily a whole turkey. You can do some stuffing perhaps outside of the turkey or chicken if you like. And to add flavor to potatoes, a really lovely way is to cook them in low sodium chicken broth or veggie stock that's low sodium, and you can roast garlic and mash them into your potatoes. It will add a lot of flavor without needing all the butter and the cream in the mashed potatoes. And the stuffing and the mashed potatoes are going to be a quarter of your plate or a quarter of your portion. The turkey breast or the chicken will be your protein. And include some lovely roasted vegetables, Brussels sprouts. You can roast them in the oven, perhaps with some carrots or some squash. You can also do steamed green beans, broccoli. Try to get lots of color on your plate and maybe make a lovely festive salad. Some lovely greens with some pomegranate seeds to have your green and red for Christmas. Maybe roast all your vegetables in one pan. You'll have leftovers that you can put in Tupperware and enjoy later. And think about only having one dessert, especially if there's only 2 to 4 people at your table. But make it your favorite, make it worth the calories, make it worthwhile. Now what about chocolate? A lot of people think, chocolate is really good for your heart health, so to eat lots of it. But if you look here, there are flavonoids in chocolate which are heart healthy. And actually the best way to get it would be cocoa powder. But 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder is a lot. It's 70 calories, so that's reasonable. But to get to 6 tablespoons, it's probably going to be really difficult, if not impossible, to eat it like that. And then you'll see the dark chocolate, you'll get 270 calories for 1.5 ounce. Then we go up to the milk chocolate all the way at the end. That's 2.5 pounds of chocolate, 5,850 calories. So way too much. You would need to eat more than a standard chocolate bar, obviously, even with the dark chocolate, to meet your chocolate needs. So don't eat the chocolate to think you're getting heart health benefits from the chocolate. Eat the chocolate because you enjoy it, and if you like dark over milk, you'll get a few more flavonoids. Here's a hunger meter. And this is a reminder to make sure that you work with your body, you eat regular meals throughout the holidays, because if you don't eat regularly, if you skip a meal and you're not eating for 6 hours or so, you will be a 1 or 2 on the hunger meter, where you can't think straight, you feel dizzy, perhaps you're irritable and cranky, the urge to eat is really, really strong. So if you're on this range in the hunger meter, when you approach food, even if you have the best intentions of making a healthy choice, your body's going to override that, and perhaps you're going to be choosing something that's high in sugar, high in fat, something deep fried, something processed instead. So make sure over the holidays you work with your body so that you aim to eat something healthy within an hour or 2 of getting up, and then you fuel your body every 4 to 5 hours, and that will keep you in the healthy range of about a 4 to 5 or so. Okay? And then satiety. Satiety is when your body tells you you have enough food, you physiologically don't need any more food. But what happens when you eat your dinner or your meals really, really quickly? Did you know that it takes your body about 20 minutes for your stomach to communicate with your brain to say you've had enough food? So how many of you out there have eaten really, really quickly, overeaten, and then realized perhaps 20 minutes later you're overfull? So what can you do? One suggestion would be portion out your meals using portion control with your hands. Half your plate vegetables, quarter of the plate starch, quarter of the plate protein, and then set a timer at the beginning of the meal for 20 minutes. Go ahead and eat your meal. At the end of the 20 minutes, you can tell yourself you can have more food, but wait till that timer is up at the end of the 20 minutes. So if you finished your meal before the 20 minutes, tell yourself again you can have more food. Just wait to make the decision at the end of 20 minutes to see if you really want more food. Maybe you'd like some more seconds, and that's when to go for lots more veggies. Or maybe you're just satisfied, you're just fine. Because definitely, you want to avoid being over full. It's not good for your heart health. So here's a word list of how to prevent overindulgence. It's really important to work with your body again. Regular meals, breakfast, lunch, that day. Minimize your pre-dinner appetizers. maybe use a smaller plate, fill your plate with vegetables, and you can actually do for sauces, you can make a lower fat gravy if you do your turkey in advance. You can put the drippings in the fridge and skim off the fat, or you can skim off the fat yourself, or make them with low sodium chicken stock or turkey stock. And then really important to eat slowly and socialize with people in your bubble before going for seconds, or even before your first helping. Enjoy the people that are with you. And then the nifty thing about making a turkey dinner and not overeating is that you'll have leftovers to enjoy later. So you can have another turkey dinner at another time during the year. And for those of you that really enjoy turkey dinner, I know I'm one of them, that's a wonderful way to get it more often. Another hint is to perhaps wear button pants or put a belt around your pants. You know those pants that are really loose, like the yoga pants? Those ones won't offer you a signal to say that you've had enough. So, if you wear, not too snug, but a slightly snug pair of pants, you'll get a signal when you've had enough. Scenario 4. This past year, maybe your alcohol intake has increased. We've all been through a lot. 2020 has been an exceptional, unheard of year. So, think about how you're going to drink over the holidays. Also, if you're going out for coffees now, it's not just a standard cup of coffee with milk and sugar. There's lattes that are made with eggnog, there's mocha mint, you get the whipped cream, lots of sugar, and these drinks themselves can have more calories than your whole turkey dinner. So for alcohol, think before you drink. If you don't currently drink, and don't start because you think you're getting health benefits versus not. The risks outweigh the benefits for people that don't drink. So if you're wanting to drink wine for your health benefits, you're much better off to eat more fruits and vegetables for your health. But for those of you that choose to drink and enjoy alcohol, what we mean in moderation for women is no more than 1 drink a day for women, no more than 2 drinks a day for men, and you can't save them up for the weekend, right? It's not 7 and 14. It's maximum 2 in a 24-hour period for men and 1 for women. And think about the calories found in alcohol. A 5-ounce glass of wine will have about 120 calories, and a 12-ounce bottle of beer will have about 150 calories, and a standard mixed drink, depending on what you mix it with, 1.5 ounces of alcohol is 100 plus the mix that you mix it with. So be careful, because some restaurants offer 9-ounce glasses of wine, which is actually 2 drinks. So definitely think about if you choose to have alcohol, definitely have it with food. Maybe start with a carbonated beverage, and then sip your wine or sip your beer slowly, really enjoy it, perhaps use smaller glasses. And think about, a pint of beer, that's a drink and a half, right? It's not your 12-ounce beer. A sleeve would be more like a 12-ounce beer. So here's the tips and words, and now we didn't even talk about mixes. If you're having margaritas and eggnogs, those can be 300 or 400 calories. And every 100 calories takes 1 mile of walking to burn it off. So that's walking at least halfway around the seawall to burn off a margarita or an eggnog. Mind you, if that's your favorite, you can decide if it's worth the calories. So perhaps using Diet Pop or using carbonated water without calories as a mixer. If you really like your beer, but you don't want the calories, try a dealcoholized beer. You can ask at the liquor store or at the grocery store which is a really good one that's worth, purchasing. And sometimes alcohol can increase your appetite as well. So you can eat more, so you get more calories from the food as well from the alcohol. And when you're out for a coffee, the best choices are the ones that are plain. So like a latte, but you can get, perhaps for flavoring, you can ask for a small shot of vanilla extract, or you can get almond extract into your latte. Definitely ask for half the sugar or quarter sugar, or ask for the non-sweet flavorings. And if you get a simple latte, you can sprinkle it with chocolate powder or nutmeg or cinnamon, which adds a lovely festive drink. With all the restrictions and colder, wet weather, you find yourself doing less and less exercise. What can you do? So, one way that we can not only keep active, but we can keep social. Go for a walk with somebody in your bubble. Perhaps walk on your lunch break. And if you're working from home or have a desk job, get up every hour and move around. Really important. Sitting is now the new kind of danger thing. You want to avoid sitting for too long. Take a walk at night and see the lights. And this year, I think we've had record number of Christmas lights up at people's houses. So this is a great time to walk around and look at all the Christmas lights. Plan an outdoor activity that we can do, such as snowshoeing. Be prepared. Make sure you have really good footwear, rainwear, rain jacket and umbrellas, warm clothing, and maybe even consider volunteering to walk your friend's dog. Lots of ways to keep active. And when you track your activity, you do much better at your activity. So keep in mind, here's some fun facts about exercise. 1 mile works out to about 2,000 to 2,500 steps. 10,000 steps is about 4 to 5 miles. 1 city block is about 200 steps. Most people walk about 1,200 steps in 10 minutes. And the average person takes 3,000 steps a day. And ideally you want to do that times 3, so 3 times that amount. And remember, 1 mile of walking equals 100 calories. But if you're trying to lose weight, the food you eat always wins. So do your exercise because it'll help you prevent weight gain. It will also, there's 100 reasons why we should be exercising for our health. But for the number on the scale to go down for weight management, you definitely want to practice portion control and follow a heart-healthy diet. So what to do over the holidays? So make sure you have a plan. So eating strategies for the holidays are pacing yourself, limiting your liquid calories, increasing your activity, and it's okay to say no. Thank you for listening. Have a lovely, happy, healthy holiday and Merry Christmas.